Hello everyone and welcome to this video of V Rising. I wanted to make this video for those who haven't really started this game yet. Uh, Hopefully you'll find this and it'll kind of explain some of these rules for you. That way you'll know what you're getting into when you're setting them up. So immediately we're in a private game, as you can see up here. The game mode is pretty self-explanatory. Do you want PvE or do you want PvP? If you have any questions or you're kind of hung up on what something would do, just hover over the eye symbol and a little pop-up will come up explaining to you what this rule set will do. There are a lot of rules. So the biggest one is when you're in a game, you have these vampire waypoints. You can create your own waypoints later on in the game so that you can teleport from one point to another. Problem being is, by default, teleport bound items is left on. When teleport bound items is left on, you are unable to teleport if you are carrying any items that are bound to you. And a lot of items are bound to you. So if you want to make sure that you can utilize these waypoints whenever you want, even if you're carrying items, you want to make sure that this is turned off. Soul Shard amounts. Soul Shard is an end-game item. There are only 3 of them in the game. To explain a Soul Shard is basically you are going to kill a boss, and you're going to collect an item that you will place inside your castle. Will give you a buff. When it's set to plentiful, everybody could have their own Soul Shard. If it's set to unique, there is only 1 Soul Shard out of, for every 3 boss. So 3 Soul Shards total per game. That's all you get. These Soul Shards for a PvP server is something that will give you an excuse to PvP. I must go attack this person. They have a Soul Shard that I want. I gotta lay siege to their castle. And a PvE server, on the other hand, doesn't really matter if it's plentiful or unique. Plentiful just means everybody can have one. During the daytime, if you're out in the sun, it takes time before the sun actually starts damaging you. Setting the strength multiplier higher decreases that amount of time. So the higher the number, the less time you have before the sun actually starts damaging you when you're in sunlight and not in shadows. Same thing goes for silver and garlic. The higher the number, the more damage that's going to take. You're going to take from it. The less time you can stay in garlic areas, the less silver you'll be able to carry. Inventory stack multiplier. If you have this up all the way to 5, you'll be able to carry very large stacks of items. Whereas the lower the number, the less the stack. So you're looking at the difference between being able to carry 100 logs and 500 logs in a stack. Loot multiplier is anything that drops from enemies. The higher the number, the more of that item is going to drop. Servant hunt multiplier. This is a really big one for me. As you play through the game, you'll unlock an item called a servant coffin. When you unlock the servant coffin, you are going to be able to charm a humanoid, bring that humanoid back to your castle, and put him or her into this servant hunt or into this servant coffin. After some time goes by, they'll be basically your minion, and you will be able to send them off on incursions to gather items. Servant hunt multiplier allows you to receive more loot from those incursions. So for me, if I'm having to wait 11 hours, I want this set so that I feel like that 11 hours is worth it. The material yield multiplier, how many items do you get every time you whack a tree, whack a mineral, plant? This is the amount of items that you get. This is the difference between you're getting 10 logs per swing on a tree or 100 logs per swing on a tree. That's the difference between this. All right, and this goes all the way up to 5, as you can see. Blood essence is used to feed your castle heart so that your castle survives and lives and thrives. Blood essence is also used in crafting recipes and stuff like that. You will be using a lot of blood essence. The multiplier, the higher the number, the more blood essence will drop from these enemies. The lower the number, the less. These right here are going to be your base on how fast do I want to get to end game in V Rising. Do I want to take a slow? Do I want to do a slow, steady, or do I want to speed run through this? If you want to speed run through this, raise all of these up to 5, call it a day, start your server, ram bam, thank you ma'am. Territory tile limit is basically how big your castle can be. On a dedicated server, I believe the maximum amount is 300. If you're doing a private game, 250 is your maximum amount. But as you start out, your castle is only going to be level 1, so you can limit this down all the way to 9, or you can raise this all the way up to max out, even starting at level 1. This is completely up to you. Okay, just make sure if you do max this out, this is either maxed out as well, and this is maxed out as well. Otherwise, the game is going to get a little funky with you when you level up the castle and everything. Server limit size. How many servers do you want? That's it. Okay. Vermin nest limitation. What the vermin nest does, it is a way for you to summon rats and rat-like creatures in order to kill them and gain whatever they drop. Tomb limitations is the same thing as the vermin nest. A tomb is something that you're going to plant flowers on. It will summon skeletons, ghosts. You kill those, you get what they drop. It's just a way for you to kind of obtain items from those specific creatures, so that you don't actually have to go out and do it. You can just do it from your castle if you want to. Lockbox limitation, that's something PvP related. Lockbox it is a storage unit specifically only for you. Your clan members and friends can access the lockbox. Your enemies cannot access your lockbox. So if you're on a PvE server, you don't have to bother with this. Crafting and building, how much materials do you want everything to cost? You want everything to be a ridiculous amount? Raise this bad boy up. If you want everything to be cheap, lower it down. Same thing with crafting costs. Crafting rate is the speed on what everything crafts. So if you're taking logs and you want to make logs into plank, raise this all the way up and it'll be done in a matter of seconds. Lower this all the way down and it'll take you 5 to 10 minutes to make one plank. So how slow do you want it to go? Refinement rate is the same thing as crafting rate. Refinement cost is, do I want 5 planks to be able to, or do I want 5 logs to be able to make one plank, or do I want, 50 logs to be able to make one plank? Raise it up or down. The higher it is, the more you're going to need. Servant convert rate. When you charm someone and you bring them back to your servant coffin, it does take time for them to convert into a minion for you. The lower this number, the longer it takes. By default, you're looking at about, I want to say it was about 11 hours or so to convert low tier unit. The higher this number, then the quicker it goes. Dismantle resource multiplier. If you place an object and you think, crap, I misplaced that, I need to move it. You can always move the object, or you can dismantle it and then rebuild it somewhere else. If you dismantle it, if you want to say it, if you set this all the way to 1, you get a 100% refund. So if something takes 5 planks, you'll get 5 planks back. If you set this lower, you'll get less planks back when you dismantle it. Day length is the whole day, night and day. By default, it takes 1,080 seconds from midnight to midnight. Okay, you can set this longer, you can set this shorter. The daytime length is how long during the day is daytime instead of nighttime. Now we're going to get into the nitty gritty. This is where you're really going to adjust the difficulty of the game. If you want a very, very hard game, a lot of these numbers here under your vampire and equipment, you're going to lower. The higher these numbers, the better for your character. So the higher the health multiplier, the more health you're going to have starting out. The higher your physical power, the more physical power you're going to have starting out. These are all your base numbers, okay? If you have damage received higher, you'll receive more damage from everything, okay? So just keep all of this in mind. Your equipment is, when you're wearing equipment, what are the bonuses that equipment's going to provide to you? Your health multiplier, your resource yield, your physical power, your spell power, all of this is increased when you put on equipment. So the higher the number is, the higher the percentage that the equipment's going to show you that increases the stat for, okay? Your V-Blood units are your boss units. So the higher the damage and the higher the health on these makes them feel more boss-like, okay? On your standard units, everything else in the game is considered a standard unit. So you'll run into more standard units than you will boss units. If you want to make the game extremely difficult, you're going to raise these numbers up. And you're going to raise these numbers up. If you want very weak, easy enemies to go against, drag them down, lower them all the way down. Progression, this will make or break a game. How easy do you want the game? Do you want to start out with copper equipment? Do you want to start out with iron, dark silver, sanguine? This is all in-game stuff. You can start out with this if you want. You have full reign over this. You're starting resources. What do you want? You want to start with level 70 supplies? Done. You want to start with nothing? Done. It's easy. Very simple. This is one of the only games that I can think of that allows you to do this just right out the bat without using any kind of mods. It's fantastic. Unlocked research. You do have research in this game in the form of libraries, study, and something called an Athenaeum. I believe I'm pronouncing that probably wrong, but you unlock certain equipment. You unlock decorations. You unlock armor. All of that from those 3 items. You're going to start with the library. That's your tier 1. Do you want to start with everything unlocked? Done. Do you want to start with everything unlocked? Check the boxes. Okay? That's it. Whatever you decide to do, though, this is your server. This is going to be your game. You want to set what you want to set. Okay? How do you want this game to play for you? And I'm hoping that explaining all of these, and then further, if you still don't understand, hover over this. Hover over these. When you get everything set to a way that you really like it, if you want to keep it, you can save a new rule set, name it, describe it, hit save, and then it'll be in here for you. So like if you want Tough But Fair, which is a private server that I run, you can load that. I load this up and all of my numbers are already changed. I hope this video helps you out in understanding this. If it did, be sure to follow, be sure to subscribe, hit that like button. I'll be releasing more videos here and there. If you want me to focus on something that you're not too familiar with or you have questions on or anything, let me know in the comments, and I'll be sure to kind of make a video and focus on that subject for you, you know, and hopefully I can help you out and explain things better. But until then, guys, have a fantastic day, and thank you very much for stopping by.